Hi, I'm Beth, a 3D and digital artist specialising in games art. Today I'm going to go through the process that I followed to create my Burning Witch animation for Collusion's Kinema of Dreams. I like to start any piece by generally doing some research into what I'm focusing on to get a feel for the piece that I'm going to create. As I was looking more into the witch trials in King's Lynn, I decided that I wanted to do a very feminist representation of this, and that took a big root in my work. When I start researching a new project, I like to create a mood board or a collection of images to gather some different resources on art styles and historical accuracy, as well as some different people's interpretations to give me more inspiration for my work. I then sketch out some general ideas for what I envision the final piece to look like. I try some different character designs to test out what I'm thinking for my ideas. After I finalise this idea, I'm then ready to start sculpting. So how do we go from this very mundane looking ball of digital clay to this lovely 3D model? Well, I start by thinking about what software I'm going to use. For this project, I used a combination of free software. I used ZBrush for the modelling and sculpting of the character, Unreal Engine 5 for the cinematics and visual effects, and Premiere Pro for the final editing and looping animation. This is generally what I prefer to use for my work, however there are other software out there such as Blender, which is completely free and really good for 3D modelling beginners, as there are loads of tutorials out there on the internet to help you. When creating a character, I start off with making the head. I start with a basic shape like a sphere, and model the basic features: jaw, nose, eyes. Then I make the basic body proportions and the shape of the pose. I find it really beneficial to use real-life images of people to help my proportions be as accurate as possible when I'm sculpting. Then I start to work in small, low levels of detail and work my way up to more intricate details until it looks like this. Obviously, it doesn't magically just turn into this though. To finish it off, I have to add colour and texture to the model. To do this, I fill each object with a flat colour and paint on my own shadows and highlights to give it that more 3D hand-painted feel. I also quickly made some 3D models of a stake for my witch to stand on and a candle for her to hold before I put it all in the game engine, in this case, Unreal Engine 5. Unreal Engine 5 is a games engine that's typically used to create the environments in video games and the games themselves, but it can also be used to create CGI cinematics for games and films. In the games engine, I put all the final touches to the animation, including the lighting and the visual effects. To make the flames, I created a general shape, warped it a bit, then used the fountain emitter, which is built into the engine, to shoot out all these shapes and make them get smaller and disappear as they rise upwards, so they look a bit like flames, and replicated this for the smoke effect as well. For the final cinematic animation, I used cameras that are again built into the games engine to record a slow zoom in of the model, and then popped all of this footage into Premiere Pro, and edited it to look like the flame of the candle was transforming into the burning inferno of the witch being burnt at the stake. Working on this animation pushed me to revise some of my skills in 3D modelling, animation, and staging of a scene. A lot of my work revolves around my interest in local history and alternative feminist views of the past and present. This is something very important to me, as I always aim to use my work to make people question things and reflect on their own thoughts and opinions. I really enjoyed exploring such an interesting subject, as it also made me reflect on my practices and views as an artist, and encouraged me to push myself further. And that is the process that went into creating my 3D animation. I hope you feel inspired to try it yourself. Thanks for watching.